So before we start today's class, I would like to read the Prabhupada's quote. To the sincere devotee, this ocean of Maya is easily crossed by the cool breeze of Krishna's grace. This is our business, to submit to Krishna's desire to have us back with him in the eternal sky of Krishna Loka. Letter to Shyam Sundara, November 24, 1968. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa Group. Today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda, chapter 14, verse number 49 to 81. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Dandavat Pranam to you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. Now I hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your warm association. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasha Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I am not able to hear you.
Mataji, we are able to hear, Mataji. We are able to hear.
Now I can hear you, but I don't know about Mataji. I cannot hear Mataji's voice.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya.
Now I can hear.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschayate Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas on the call. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha krapakandhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Please bless me that I may be able to speak a few words in glorification of Srimad Mahaprabhu. So we are reading from Sri Caitanya Bhagavat. This is Adi Khanda and it is chapter 14, the Lord's travel to East Bengal and the disappearance of Lakshmi Priya. And we are reading from verse 49 onwards today. Get started. Tabe kata dina icha maya bhagavan bangadesha dekite haila ichatana. After a few days, the independent Lord desired to visit East Bengal, which is Bangladesh. So in our previous session, last two sessions, we have been seeing how Mother Shachi and Mother Lakshmi Priya were taking very good care of Gauranga Mahaprabhu during his Grihastha life. We saw a lot about what Grihastha life is, how Mahaprabhu was an epitome of perfection, living in the Grihastha ashram. We saw the services of Mother Lakshmi Priya and Mother Shachi Devi. So continuing on the same lines, let's see what happened in Navadvip at that time. After a few days living with Mother Lakshmi Priya and Mother Shachi Devi, one day, Mahaprabhu, he had an ardent desire to visit East Bengal. Now, what is East Bengal? East Bengal is non-different from Bangladesh. So the Gauda Desh, as we call it today, is actually West Bengal. West Bengal is within India. Modern India has West Bengal as one of the states. But however, Bangladesh has actually been separated to a different country. Now, this Bangladesh is also called as East Bangla or East Bengal. And Bangladesh was called as Bangadesha. And Gauda Desha is actually East Bengal. So we all call ourselves Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? Bengal, because the Mahaprabhu was from Bengal. So we call this as Gaudiya Desh. Gaudiya Vaishnavism and Gauda Desh. So keep this in mind. West Bengal is Gauda Desh. East Bengal is called as Bangladesh. In those days, that's how they would actually identify these two lands. So it is said that the north and eastern provinces of Gauda Navadvip, which consists of the east and south banks of Brahmaputra River, through which flows the main branch of the Ganges, the Padmavati, which merges into Bay of Bengal. These tracts of land were known at that time as Bangladesh. So this is how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he tries to explain to us the difference between these two lands. So just for you to get a glimpse of what exactly he's talking about, I'll show you on Google Maps. Okay, so I hope the screen is visible to everybody, the map. Is it visible? Can I get a thumbs up?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
So here we have Navadvip, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived. And if you see, Bangladesh is actually like if this is India, I'll try to. I mean, people from Bengal would know this really well, but this is just for people who don't have much idea like me. Okay. So this is India. India, this portion of India, only Bangladesh portion is cut off. And then you have these parts like Mizoram, Manipur, all of this is a part of India. So I think in your earlier days, you would have been accustomed to drawing the Indian map, right? This eastern side of India has a very different shape. This portion has been taken off by Bangladesh, okay? But if you see, it is very, very close to West Bengal, the state of West Bengal, Kolkata and other places. Now, Bangladesh too, West Bengal is not very far away. It's hardly anything, right? It's just across the border. But however, there are some very beautiful rivers, different branches of the Ganges that flow through these lands. Now, if I zoom in, you would see that the river Padma is the river, the branch of the river that actually flows through Bangladesh. Okay, so the river Padma, you can see here, she flows through, here you can see clearly, Padma River. Okay, she flows through this land of Bangladesh. Now, she is a tributary of Mother Ganges. Bhagirathi, another tributary of Mother Ganges, she flows through the main area near Mayapur. Okay, so when you all visit Mayapur, you go and you take bath in the Ganges, right? So the main part of Ganges and the portion of Bhagirathi, she all flows through the Indian region, where you go to Mayapur and you get darshan of the Ganges. And the Padma River, which is a tributary, flows here. Now, where does this Padma come? She is also a part of Brahmaputra River. Okay, so Brahmaputra comes from the north, it merges, and then the branch of Padma comes here, and then she drains out into the Bay of Bengal. So keep this in mind, because this pattern we are going to see, because we'll see how Mahaprabhu takes bath even in the Padma River. Okay, keeping this pattern in mind, let's see what else Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati says. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is telling us that in the book Shakti Sangama Tantra, the border of Bangladesh has been described as follows. Now, what is Bangladesh? It is Bangladesh. Okay. The entire tract from the Bay of Bengal up to the Brahmaputra River. We saw Brahmaputra River is in the north, right? So that entire tract is called as Bangladesh. And in that particular book, it is said, "O Parvati, this land bestows one all perfection." So it's a very worshipable land. As much as our Mayapur is so worshipable, that much is worshipable even Bangladesh. Today it may not be a part of India, but still it is a very, very holy land. And then he picks a little bit from history. He says, even after the reign of the ancient Pala dynasty that ruled that area and shifting the capital to Navadvip and Vikrampur, North Bengal was still known as Varendra provinces to the northwest of Bengal, to the North Bengal, and they were known as Karna Suvarna. West Bengal is also known as Gauda or Rada. The present East Bengal is known as Bangladesh, and South Bengal is known as Samatata and Tamralipta. Okay, he's given some names of the ancient dynasties who ruled these areas, both East Bengal and West Bengal. And he also talks about different ancient names that were attributed to these regions. Now, especially, I would like to bring your attention to West Bengal was also known as Gauda and Rada. Okay, the present East Bengal is known as Bangladesh. It's known as Bangladesh. Now, in the further commentaries of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, the verses that are going to come in the further classes, it is mentioned there's a Rada, because initially we were all wondering what Rada means in Bengali. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati clarifies it's either called as Rada. It came to be known as Rada eventually, but initially it was called as Rashtradesh. Rashtra means government, right? Like traditionally. So this area was called as Rashtradesh. Later it got corrupt and the word became Radadesh. So that's why you get the name Rada. So Banga and Rada, this area of West Bengal is called as, and the East Bengal is known as Bangladesh. Okay. So see, again, he gives different quotes from various Sanskrit literatures. He says, even in the Sanskrit literature, the east and middle areas of Bengal were referred to as Bangladesh. Abdul Pajal, a prime minister of Akbar, the Mughal emperor of Delhi, has written in his history book, Aini Akbari, or the rule of Akbar, that the former Hindu kings of Banga surrounded their kingdoms with ala or mud dike. Therefore, the area has now become to be known as Bangla. So because ala means a mud dike or a raised platform that resists the flow of water from flooding, that's called as a mud dike. So in those days, in the ancient kingdoms, they would have these huge mud dikes to protect that entire land from flooding. So because these alas were constructed in Bangladesh, it came to be known as Bangala. That's why we call it as Bangala Desha. Okay. So this is some explanation of the geography of what East Bengal is and what West Bengal is. And now what did Mahaprabhu want to do? He wanted to travel from West Bengal to East Bengal, right? That was his plan. So let's see what happened after. तबे प्रभु जननी रे बलिने वाणी कट दिन प्रवास करीब माता आमी लक्ष्मी प्राति कहिले ना श्री गौर सुंदरा मायेर सेवन तुमी कर निरंतरा. The Lord told to his mother, "Dear mother, I will go on a journey for a few days." Sri Gaura Sundar then said to Lakshmi, "You should constantly serve mother." So yesterday also we were seeing about the beautiful relationship between Lakshmi Priya and Gaura Sundar. So sometimes it was not necessary for the two of them to speak in words, just with the connection between their eyes, they could actually communicate. So like that, they had a very, very lovely relationship. And Mother Lakshmi, she knew the heart of Gaurasundar and she very lovingly served Gaurasundar's mother, Shachi Devi. So now Gaurasundar, he had some work. He had to go to East Bengal. So he called her and he told her, "My dear wife, you have been serving my mother so nicely. So please continue to serve while I go to East Bengal and I return." Now, why did Gaurasundar have to go? What reason did he give at home? So yeah, we love to do interactive sessions, right, Usually that's what we do. So let me ask the audience, why do you think Lord Gaurasundar had to leave West Bengal and go to East Bengal? Any thoughts?
To perform his father's rites.
That is one answer, to perform his father's rites. Anyone else?
Internal reason or externally, Mataji?
Both. We are going to discuss both.
He wants to go to meet Ishwara, Sri Ishwarapuri, and get initiation.
Ishwarapuri. Then it's very simple, the reason. Okay, for now, this is the reason. Of course, he traveled to different places for different reasons. Yes, Mataji, someone wanted to say something. Okay, so he did travel to different places for different reasons. Like once he traveled to, he went to Gaya to perform Shraddh. Mm. He did meet, Ishwarapuri during his travels. All these reasons are correct. They're all there whenever Mahaprabhu travels. This particular time, Gaurasundar, he told his mother that he's traveling for the sake of the family. So sometimes you see how nicely Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati writes in the purport. So he says sometimes, we have to do for the sake of the house to collect items for the service of the household. A man may have to travel, right? So while leaving for Bangladesh or Bangladesh in the eastern Gouda, the Lord said to his mother Shati, "Oh mother, I will leave this house and go somewhere else for a few days in order to collect items for the service of you and the household." He said to his wife Lakshmi Priya Devi, "In my absence, you should perform your duty by serving mother before departing for another province." The Lord entrusted the responsibility of serving his mother with his wife Lakshmi Priya Devi and then proceeded to the east to increase his mother's happiness. So how is he increasing the family's happiness? This is the external reason, okay? He's traveling so that he can collect some money and he can do, go to a different land and he can come back to increase the happiness of the household. So it's nothing uncommon, even in these days also. That is what happens, right? The husband travels from Monday to Thursday and then he goes to the client, whatever, the client office, and then he comes back home. He goes to increase the happiness of the house. So similarly, this is the external reason that Mahaprabhu told his mother that I will go for a few days to collect some items for the service of you and the household. Now, Nimai, he was a great scholar. His job was actually teaching. He was a teacher. So he thought he will go to some other land and do this job of teaching, collect some dakshina, and come back to serve his parents, to serve Mother Shakti and his wife. So this is the external reason he gave. But then eventually the internal reason will soon be revealed in today's class itself. Tabe Prabhu Karta Apta Sishya Vargalaya Chali Lena Bhanga Deshe Harashita Haya. The Lord then took some of his students and happily departed for East Bengal. So the Lord did not travel alone when he went to Bangladesh. Rather, this Nimai Pandit, the crutchwell of all teachers, he was accompanied by some of his favorite students from Gaudapur or Navadvip Mayapur. From there, he took some of his favorite students and they all departed. Ye jana dhike prabhu chaliya asite se ara drishti nahi pare sambarite. Whoever saw the Lord in his travels could not take his eyes off him. So anybody who came across this most beautiful, attractive form of the Lord, their eyes were completely fixed on the Lord. Obviously, if someone is so beautiful and so attractive, you would not even look elsewhere. Your eyes would be fixed on the beauty of this person. Just like when we go to take deity darshan, right? The deities are so beautiful. When you're taking darshan of the deities, it is impossible for a person to look elsewhere, at least for those few minutes or few seconds. So that was the unparalleled beauty of our Gaurasundar. And everybody was just bewildered. They couldn't imagine seeing something more beautiful, seeing someone more beautiful than this wonderful Lord. So this reminds me of what was happening even during Krishna's time. So the Srimad Bhagavatam tells us how when Krishna went to Mathura or he went to Dwaraka or any of these different places, he left from Mathura or he entered Mathura or he would leave Hastinapur. So during all these different events, the people would come out and they would want to take darshan of the Lord. They would come out in great haste and their eyes would be drinking the beauty of the Lord, like as if they are cups to drink. Their eyes would be like cups and they would drink the beauty of the Lord with their eyes. Here we go. This is one instance from Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 41. The lotus-eyed Lord, smiling as he recalled his bold pastimes, captivated those ladies' minds with his glances. He walked with the gait of a lordly elephant in rut, creating a festival for their eyes. with his transcendental body, which is the source of pleasure for the divine goddess of fortune. So this is how Sri Krishna, when he was walking through the streets of Mathura, everyone was simply captivated by his beauty. And then in another chapter, it says, O king, as the citizens of the city and the people from outlying districts gazed upon these two supreme personalities from their seats in the galleries, this is in the Kamsa's arena, the force of the people's happiness caused their eyes to open wide and their faces to blossom. They drank the vision of the Lord's faces without becoming satiated. So they were not at all satiated. Your eyes automatically opens wide when you see the Lord in front of you face to face. And seeing the beauty of the Lord, your face blossoms, right? Because the Lord's face itself is like a beautiful lotus flower. So when you see that beautiful lotus flower, even your face also blossoms. And what did they do? They drank the vision of the Lord's faces, the two Lords, both Balaram and Krishna in Kamsa's arena. They just drank that beauty without becoming satiated, like a bottomless container. They just kept drinking. It was so beautiful. So this is how Lord Gaurasundar, he was walking in the region of East Bengal, and everybody who was seeing him, they were getting so captivated by his unparalleled beauty. Striloke dekiya bale hena putra yara dhanya tara janma tara paye namaskara. The women said, glorious is she who has such a son. We offer our obeisances unto her. So the aged mothers, the ones who were in a motherly age, in a mother's age, when they saw this beautiful son walking through their streets, they were counting the fortune of Mother Shachi Devi. They were thinking, how wonderful is Mother Shachi? She's the mother of Gaura. She's so fortunate because she was able to hold the Lord in her womb, and her entire life has become successful just by holding such a glorious son in her womb. So, following in the footsteps of Mother Shachi Devi, many ladies worshipped the Lord in the mood of Vatsalya Rasa. And they looked upon him with so much parental feelings. Just like, again, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the Damodar Leela is explained, Srila Prabhupada in a purport, he writes that when the description of Mother Yashoda is given, that Yashoda was wearing a beautiful yellow sari and she was churning butter. There were drops of perspiration on her forehead. And while she was churning, she was singing beautiful songs of Krishna. So when this description of Mother Yashoda comes, Srila Prabhupada writes, anyone aspiring to follow in the mood of Vatsalya Rasa should follow in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda and meditate on the features of Mother Yashoda. So one should think about Mother Yashoda and meditate on the features of Mother Yashoda. This is what Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. So like that, the people in East Bengal, when they saw this Lord, they were thinking of Mother Shachi. They were meditating on Mother Shachi, thinking how beautiful is she. Her life has become so successful. She has held the Lord in her garbha. Who can be more fortunate than this woman? So it was not a sense of competition. Rather, it was a sense of appreciation and the aspiration to follow in the footsteps of such a glorious mother. So that is how the ladies, the older ladies in the Eastern Bengal, they were feeling. Now, how about the other ladies? How did they feel? Eda bhagyavati na paile na pati sri janma sartaka karile na se sati. Fortunate is she who has such a husband. The life of that chaste lady has become successful. So now these are the younger ladies who are counting the glories of Mother Lakshmi Priya. Now they did not want to have a Madhurya Rasa with Gauranga Mahaprabhu or something like that. Now sometimes when you see the beautiful meditation of the ladies of Mathura, they were actually counting the glorious fortune of the gopis. Okay, always anybody who glorifies the Lord and his devotees, they always culminate in glorifying the gopis of Vrindavan, because the gopis of Vrindavan have had the greatest fortune. Now here, these ladies, they were also counting the fortune of Mother Lakshmi Priya, who gets to be the wife of the Lord and serve him. But their mood was not in the mood of becoming Gaura Bhogis or enjoying Lord Gaurasundara's beauty. Rather, it was worshipping the mood of Mother Lakshmi. They were just, so appreciative. In the mood of awe and veneration, they were very appreciative of the services that Mother Lakshmi got to perform when the Lord is in her house. So being the wife of the Lord. So that's how the younger ladies went. Okay. I think the next verse. Ei matapate deki yata shri purushe puna puna sabe vakya karena santoshe. In this way, all the ladies and men who saw the Lord as he passed by repeatedly glorified him in full satisfaction. So like this, not only the women, but also the men and everyone else, the youngsters, the men, the women, everybody, they were glorifying the Lord in their heart and in their words repeatedly as the Lord was passing by. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he says, Vakyaya Karena indicates that they offered prayers as the Lord was walking. So they folded their palms and verbally they were offering prayers to the matchless form of the Lord. So again, in the arena of Kamsa, right, again, coming back to Srimad Bhagavatam, we see a similar mood when there were so many people who were gathered there. There were men, there were women, there were so many others, and everyone saw the Lord according to the situation that they were in, right? Like, for example, the various groups of people in the arena regarded Krishna in different ways when he entered it with his elder brother. The wrestlers saw Krishna as a lightning bolt. That's how the wrestlers are, right? That is their mood. The men of Mathura as the best of males, the women as Cupid in person, the cowherd men as their relative, the impious rulers as a chastiser, his parents as their child automatically. That's how they feel, right? The king of Bhojas as death, the unintelligent as the Supreme Lord's universal form, and the yogis as the absolute truth, and the Vrishnis as their supreme worshipable deity. So a similar mood we see as the Lord entered Mathura and he was in the arena of Kamsa. Everybody else who saw his beautiful form, they also had different feelings of affection for him. So like that, the people in East Bengal were also celebrating and glorifying his beauty. Deve o karena kamya ye prabhu dekite ye tajane hena prabhu deke krupa hoite. The Lord, whom even the demigods desire to see, now mercifully appeared before the vision of everyone. Even the demigods pray, they want a birth in Bharata Bhumi. And Bharata Bhumi is so glorious that the Lord, in his various incarnations, has taken form and he has performed pastimes here. And especially the most merciful incarnation of all, the most merciful form of the Supreme Lord himself, Swayam Bhagavan himself, came to the land of Gaudadesh and he performed pastimes. And Gaudadesh was not very far away from Bangladesh. So when the Lord came to Bangladesh, they were all so excited. All the people there were excited. And even the demigods, they were also thinking, oh, how nice it would be if I could take birth in this wonderful land. So out of compassion, the point is, out of compassion, the Lord manifested his form. And this form was rarely seen by demigods. The people of Bangladesh were so fortunate that they were able to see this very, very rare form. They were feeling so fortunate to see this transcendental form. And it was not like any sort of material, temporary sense gratification. Seeing the Lord's form, if you get attached to the Lord's transcendental form, it is amazing. It is really, really so long lasting. Okay. So whatever happiness that they were getting, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati mentioned that it was not some temporary form of relishment. Rather, it was so auspicious that it was long lasting. They were all feeling so enthused in the spirit. So that's how everybody felt when Lord Mahaprabhu was actually passing through the streets. In this way, Gaurasundar arrived in a few days at the bank of river Padmavati. So we already saw where this Padma river is. It's actually a tributary, and it flows through this entire land. And here in the commentary, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he explains to us about the descent of the Ganges. So he tells us that King Bhagiratha, we know from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Bhagiratha, he prayed for the descent of Ganges, and Ganga, who's also called as Jhanavi, she actually descended. And Bhagiratha, he kind of guided her to flow through different lands. But there is something interesting that he mentions here. He says, satisfied by the prayer of the saintly king Bhagiratha, Jhanavi Devi appeared from Maya Tirtha or Haridwar and began flowing east to merge into the ocean. So that is the path of the Ganges that we have seen. Some people say that a demon adorned with material knowledge tried to divert the flow of that Bhagirathi into the Padmavati in order to deprive Bhagirathi from achieving the lotus feet of Gaura. Feeling unhappy as a result, Bhagirathi flowed by the side of Sri Navadvip Mayapur. However, she still flows by the side of Navadvip Mayapur so that she can serve the lotus feet of Gaura Narayan. This Mayapur itself is sometimes mentioned as the above mentioned Maya Tirtha Haridwar. So Haridwar is in Shastra, when you read, you see Maya is translated to be Haridwar. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he says this Maya or Haridwar itself is actually Mayapur only. It is Mayapur only. When we say Maya, Avantika, these are the different lands. Actually, that Maya refers to Mayapur itself. This is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. So from there, this river has got diverted and she flows. She flows even in East Bengal. Bhagirathi section flows in West Bengal. Padma section flows in East Bengal. Now, this Lord Gaurasundar, he not only sported in Navadvip area of the Ganges, which is the Bhagirathi section, he also decided to come towards the land of Bangladesh, where Padmavati flows, and he decided to perform his pastimes of accumulating wealth. So this is what he told his mother, right? I'm coming here to accumulate wealth while imitating the activities of ordinary householders. So this is some beautiful realizations written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in a commentary that Ganges, she flows from Haridwar and she flows all the way east. There are some statements that say that she couldn't flow through this entire central part of the entire Gaudadesh, but she managed to flow. She managed to flow sideways and still she touches Mayapur because she didn't want to give up the lotus feet of Gaurasundar. So she managed to flow there. And also the other section, the Padmavati river, she flows in the East Bengal. But Gaurasundar is so compassionate. It's not that he just stayed here, not giving mercy to Padma river also. He wanted to give mercy to Padma river. So telling his mother, imitating the activities of ordinary householders that I want to accumulate wealth, he went there and he gave mercy even to the people in Bangladesh. And he made the river Padmavati also very, very pure. How did he make it pure? Let's see. Padmavati nadira taranga shobha ati uttama pulina yena upavanatati. The current of the Padmavati river is most charming and her fine banks are covered with forest groves. It's a very, very beautiful place. Dekhi Padmavati Prabhu Mahakutuhale Gana Sahasnana Karile Tarajale. So this is what he did. He wanted to give mercy. That is the internal reason. That is the internal reason of the Lord visiting Bangladesh. He wanted to deliver the people there. He wanted to even purify Padmavati in a way that whoever drank the water of Padmavati after that, they would also be liberated. So he gave a massive sale of mercy there in East Bengal. Saying Padmavati, the Lord joyfully took bath with the students. He entered the river, and the minute he entered that river, that entire river became completely sanctified. Just like how Srila Jiva Goswami, he says, Prabhupada also writes this in one of the commentaries, that Ganges is very pure, very, very pure. Why? Because she emanates from the lotus feet of the Lord. So she purifies the three worlds. But Yamuna became 100 times more pure. Why? Because Krishna got into the Yamuna rivers and he took bath and he performed pastimes in Yamuna. So Yamuna became 100 times pure. Now imagine in the age of Kali, Gaurasundar, he appeared and he Ganges again pure. Okay, because he did fast times in Mayapur by getting into the Ganges. So now there's a transcendental competition between Yamuna and Ganga. Now Ganga became very, very pure. And Gaurasundar didn't stop there. He came to Padmavati and he decided, I will make even Padmavati pure. So even Padmavati also became very pure as Lord Gaurasundar immersed himself in the waters of river Padma. Bhagyavati Padmavati, how fortunate is Padmavati. Bhagyavati Padmavati, Sedina Hoite, Yogya Haila Sarva Loka Pavitra Karite. How fortunate is she? Since that day, fortunate Padmavati river became fit to sanctify the entire world. So when Gaurasundar took bath in Padmavati, she at once became most fortunate. How fortunate she can deliver the entire world. So Ganges emanates from the lotus feet of Vishnu. This indicates a quality of delivering people and destroying the sins. The moment the Lord personally and directly immersed and bathed in the river Padma, those ability for delivering the fallen souls was not as great as the Ganges. By the touch of the Lord's feet, she became equal to Ganga in her ability to purify people and destroy the sinful reactions of Kali. So this is a transcendental competition. It is, of course, in an absolute sense, all these rivers are very, very pure. But when a poet or when a devotee relishes the glories of the rivers, they tend to make beautiful comparisons. Of course, everything is very, very pure. So in the eyes of Jiva Goswami, when Krishna went into river Kalindi, Kalindi became 100 times more pure. Now when Gaurasundar entered the Ganges, Ganges became 1,000,000 times more pure. And then when he enters river Padma, that becomes 1,000,000,000,000 times more pure. So like this, all these rivers, the entire world, in the entire land of, wherever the Lord performed his pastimes, they are all pure in the eyes of the devotees. And that is true. All these rivers are very, very potent. Now, since the Lord took bath, he went there and he purified the waters, what's going to happen? That entire land is going to get purified, right? Anyone who comes in touch with that water, drinks that water. Even if you drink water from the tap, it's coming from the river, right? So that entire land is going to get purified. And the Lord very mercifully got into the waters and he purified this. Padmavati Nadi Ati Dekite Sundara Taranga Pulina Shrota Ati Manohara. The Padmavati appeared most beautiful, being decorated with enchanting waves, banks, and flowing current. So already beautiful Padmavati became even more beautiful. Padmavati Deki Prabhu Paramahari Se Sthana Rahi Lena Tara Bhagyavase. The Lord was so pleased to see Padmavati that he remained there a few days to increase her good fortune. How beautiful. Yena Krida Karilena Janavira Jale Sishya Gana Sahita Parama Kutuhale. Se bhagya ebe pailena Padmavati Pratidina Prabhu Jala Kride Karetati. Just as the Lord had joyfully sported in the waters of Ganges with the students back there in Navadvip, Mayapur, now the Padmavati achieved the same good fortune as the Lord daily sported in her waters at this time during his stay in East Bengal. Bangadeshe Gaura Chandra Karila Pravesha Adyapiha Sei Bhage Dhanya Dhanya Bangadeshe Padmavati Tire Rahilena Gaura Chandra Shuni Sarva Loka Bada Haila Ananda. Because Sri Gaura Chandra entered East Bengal, it is considered very glorious even today. People were overjoyed to hear that Gaura Chandra was staying in the banks of river Padmavati. So both the tracts of the land, both the tracts of land on the banks of the Ganges are known as Gaudadesh or West Bengal, and the tracts of land on the banks of river Padmavati is known as East Bengal. generally known as Bangladesh or Bengal. We have already understood this. Now, a question may be raised that which particular village do you think did actually Gaurasundar go and get into the waters of the river Padmavati? And he purified that entire village or that entire land. Where did it all start from? So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he gives us some inputs here. He tells us this book does not mention which village became glorious by receiving the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord, but some people say it is the village of Magdoba in the district of Faridpur. Now, what is this village of Magdoba? What is the glory of this village? Let's see what Caitanya Charitamrita has to say about this. Ananta Acharya Kavi Datta Mishra Nayana Ganga Mantri Mamu Thakur Kanta Bharana. The fifth branch was Anantacharya, the sixth Kavi Datta, the seventh Nayana Mishra, the eighth Ganga Mantri, the ninth Mamu Thakur, and the 10th Kantabharana. Now we have to focus on this personality by the name Mamu Thakur. So Mama, what is Mama? Mama is mother's brother, right? We all know that. Sometimes we say Mamu out of affection. So in some places, Mama is called Mamu. In some places, he's called as Mama. Okay. Now, who is this Mama they are talking about? Texts 197 and 207 of the Gaur Ganodesh Deepika describes Kavidatta as the gopi named Kalakanti. Text 196 and 207 describe Nayana Mishra as the gopi named Nayana Manjari. Text 196 and 205 describe Ganga Mantri as the gopi named Chandrika. Now comes our, the person that we're going to focus on, Mamu Thakur. Mamu Thakur, whose real name was Jagannath Chakravarti, was the nephew of Nilambar Chakravarti, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grandfather. In Bengal, a maternal uncle is called as Mama, and in East Bengal and Orissa, it's called Mamu. Thus, Jagannath Chakravarti was known as Mama or Mamu Thakur. Now, this Mamu Thakur's residence was in the district of Faridpur, in this village known as Magdoba. That is the village Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his relative's house. He goes there to Mama's house. And what is he doing? He's purifying that entire place. After the demise of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, Mamu Thakur became the priest in charge of the temple of Tota Gopinath. You all know who served in Tota Gopinath temple. It was Gadadhar Pandit. So you know this beautiful stories from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that Gadadhar Pandit would relish the Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam in the Tota Gopinath temple. He would cry tears, while reading these beautiful pastimes of the Lord, and his entire script of Srimad Bhagavatam would get washed away by the tears. So this was the affection and the love that both Gadadhar Pandit and Sri Mahaprabhu had for the Srimad Bhagavatam. So they would read the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Sri Mahaprabhu had such a strong connection with the Tota Gopinath deity that he actually entered the Tota Gopinath deity while withdrawing his pastime. So this Mamu Thakur, he actually served the deity of Tota Gopinath. So Mamu Thakur became the priest in charge of the temple known as Tota Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. According to the opinion of some Vaishnavas, Mamu Thakur was formerly known as Rupa Manjari. This is another opinion. So, Rupa Goswami was actually Rupa Manjari, but also according to some Vaishnavas, Mamu Thakur was also Rupa Manjari. So the followers of Mamu Thakur were Raghunath Goswami, Ramachandra Radha Vallabha, Krishna Jivana, Shyama Sundar, Shantamani, Harinath, Navina Chandra, Matilata, Dayamayi, and Kunja Vihari. So these were the other associates of Mamu Thakur from this particular land of Magdoba. Kanthabharana, whose original name was Sri Ananta Chattarja, was a gopi named Gopali in Krishna. So this is about the rest of the people that is mentioned in this particular verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilela 1281. This is the chapter that describes the various associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the different branches of the tree of Mahaprabhu. So in that section, you find the identity of Mamu Thakur. Why did we want to know the identity of Mamu Thakur? Because he lived in this village called as Magdoba. So this Magdoba is the place where actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he purified that entire village by getting into the river Padmavati. Drinking that water, everybody became purified. Okay. So now let's see what happened after that. Nimai Pandita Adhyapika Shiromani Ashiya Achena Sarvadike Hailadvani. The news spread in all directions. The crest jewel of all teachers, Nimai Pandit, has arrived to the banks of the river Padmavati. See, we were talking about the internal reasons of the Lord appearing in this region, right? So the internal reason is actually to deliver this entire land. Not only did he get into the water, but he also came to give education to those people. He's the great Nimai Pandit. Now he came to take students there and educate all these students and bestowing his mercy on everybody else. The news soon spread in all directions. The crest jewel of all teachers, Nimai Pandit, that famous Nimai Pandit from West Bengal, he has come here. He has come to Padmavati region. So everybody got really, really excited. That just imagine, just think about this, okay? Like we see in Srimad Bhagavatam also, the story of Parikshit Maharaj. When he was in great distress, what happened? Shukadev Goswami, he appeared on the scene. He appeared on the scene to deliver Parikshit Maharaj. By the will of the Lord, he just appeared there. Think about other cases, Dhruva Maharaj, when he was ready to go to the forest to perform austerities and he did not have any proper guidance, Yadrichya, by chance, who came? Narada Muni came. Think about the Prachetas, when they, wanted to perform austerities, seeing that they were so dharmic, the one who's pleased with people who are very dharmic, Lord Shiva, he voluntarily came into the scene, right? Nobody went in search. They themselves come. Like, for example, the sages of Naimisharanya, Sutta Goswami becomes the leader. He comes in contact and he becomes the leader. Vyasadeva, he's despondent. He doesn't know what is bothering him. He feels very incomplete. He feels that he's not glorified the Lord enough. And he's thinking like this in his heart. Immediately, Narada Muni comes into the scene. So like that, again, Prachina Barhisha. He wanted to, he was performing one sacrifice after the other and he spent his entire life doing that. But then Narada Muni, out of his own accord, he came to deliver. So like that, sometimes the Lord, he just feels compassion and he goes to give mercy. Even to this day, you think about all our spiritual masters. It's not that, we take the effort and we go to the ashram and visit them. Out of compassion, they come. Right? They just come. They travel from Alachua to Chicago. From Chicago, they travel to Atlanta and then they go to New Vrindavan. They are the ones who are traveling. They take all the effort. And why are they taking this effort? They are taking all this effort just to deliver us. Okay. So everybody in the land of East Bengal or Bangladesh, they were so amazed. Nimai Pandit has come. So they were also excited and they went to welcome him with various gifts. The Srimad Bhagavatam, it talks about these great personalities. It says that they don't want anything from you. We think like sometimes sannyasis, when they visit the house of grihasthas, one may think that, this sannyasi, he's been traveling from one place to the other. Now, not more than 3 days, he lives in one place. So he should be given proper food and shelter. Right? So it's a very nice thought. It's a very loving thing, right? Out of love, we're doing that for our spiritual master. But they are not coming here for that. Their only intention is actually to deliver the people, to give their association to us. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when Shukadev Goswami appeared on the scene, when Parikshit Maharaj was waiting, he had taken a fast for 7 days. At that time, there's a very beautiful glorification of Shukadev Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, he, Shukadev Goswami, was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked. That means just for a very short period. He did this for what reason? To just sanctify that residence. He may be accepting some diksha, okay? He might be taking some milk. He might be accepting some dakshina. He might be taking some food. But his intention is not that food. He is there only to sanctify that residence. Prabhupada in the purport, he says, Shukadev Goswami met Emperor Parikshit and explained the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. He was not accustomed to stay at any householder's residence for more than half an hour at the time of milking a cow, and he would just take alms from the householder. He would just take some bhiksha, some alms. Why was this? This was to sanctify the residence by his auspicious presence. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami is an ideal preacher established in the transcendental position. From his activities, those who are in the renounced order of life and dedicated to the mission of preaching the message of Godhead should learn that they have no business with householders, save and except to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Such asking for alms from the householder would be for the purpose of sanctifying his home. One who's in the renounced order of life will not be allured by the glamour of the householder's worldly possession and thus become subservient to worldly men. For one who is in the renounced order of life, this is much more dangerous than drinking poison and committing suicide. So this is the mood of people in the renounced order. They are not here for any comforts or for getting anything from other people. They are there only to give their mercy and association. So like that, Shriman Mahaprabhu, externally it appeared, yeah, he is going there to collect some, money so that he can increase the happiness of Mother Shachi and increase the happiness of the house. But all that is external. Nimai Pandit was purely going to purify that land and give his wonderful association. So seeing that Nimai Pandit has come to Bangladesh, all the fortunate Brahmanas, they came forward. They were so excited. They came with beautiful gifts to receive Nimai Pandit. Sabe asi prabhu re kariya namaskara bali tela gila adhikari parihara. Coming before the Lord, they offered their obeisances and humbly spoke as follows. So parihara means with very beautiful, humble words, with glorifying words, flattering words, or words that glorify the person. Amasabakara ati bhagyodaya haite tomara vijaya asi hailaye deshete. We consider ourselves as very, very fortunate because of your Vijaya, Tomara Vijaya. You have made your victorious presence here. And because of your arrival here, we are very, very fortunate. अर्थवृत्तिलाई सर्व घोष्टि रसहीते यारस्थाने नवद्वीपायैमा पंडिते हेना निधि अनायासे आपन ईश्वरे आनियादि लेना आमा साबारा दुयारे. That rare touchstone to whom we go to with friends and money to study under Navadvip has now been brought to our doorstep by Providence. So people, they would pack their bags and they would go to the University of Navadvip, Mayapur. Like even in today's world, our children, what do? They pack their bags and then we send them off to the best of the universities. We send them to Massachusetts, some university in Boston, and then we send them to some other big university, Stanford, and this and that. We want to give them the best education. So they pack their bags and they go there, right? That is what happened. Now imagine if the best of the professors come to your house and teaches your child. How fortunate. And then you get a certificate from that university delivered at your doorstep that you have graduated from this university. How nice it would be. You don't have to take that effort. You don't have to ask your child to go anywhere. The child can stay at home and get the best of education, the best of the certificates, best of the degrees, everything, right? So like that, the people there, they were so excited. They were telling that rare touchstone. Everybody wants to have good education. Everybody wants to be successful in life. And that's what the people in Bangladesh were also desiring. That's what they wanted. So they would all go. They would go with their friends and money to study under Navadvip, the best of the places where the top class education was given, especially the best professor Nimai Pandit was present there. So they would go there in search of Nimai Pandit. But then Nimai Pandit himself has come here. They were so happy. How wonderful is Providence, they were thinking. So, during the Lord's presence, many people from East Bengal accumulated wealth and went with their sons and dependents to study in Navadvip, the center of education at that time. Nimai Pandit was a famous crest jewel of all teachers. all the students, they desired to study under him alone. Yet for some reason or another, everyone was not able to go to Navadvip to study under him. This happens oftentimes, right? Everyone may not have the great fortune or the capability to actually go to a great university and study. Since today, due to the good fortune of the students, that same crest jewel of all teachers, Nimai Pandit, personally arrived at the bank of river Padmavati. They all praised their own extraordinary fortune and considered that now they did not have to go to Navadvip just for this reason. So some people, they were not able to afford, they were not able to go, and they would feel so bad. Sometimes when we don't go for yatras, this happens, right? We feel so bad. Oh, I missed the yatra during Kartik month. How unfortunate. But then we have Padma Saki Mataji coming on the call, and then she giving us a virtual yatra, and how you feel so fortunate. How fortunate. Even if I was not able to go to the yatra, everything is coming to me. So like that, the people in Navadvip, they were feeling like this. मूर्तिमंत तुमी बृहस्पति अवतारा तुम्हारा सदृश अध्यापक नहीं आरा. They said there is no other teacher like you. You are like the incarnation of Brihaspati. How many of you think this is a good comparison? Is an incarnation of Brihaspati? Yes, no? Pin drop silence. Nobody wants to say anything. Okay. So there is no other teacher like you, for you are like the incarnation of Brihaspati. They said this, but then immediately they retracted their statement. They said, Brihaspati drishtanta tomara yogya naya ishvarera amsha tumi he namanelaya. Rather to compare you with Brihaspati is insufficient. We consider you a portion of the Supreme Lord. See, this is better. Of course, he's the Supreme Lord himself. Anyata Ishvara Vine Ye Mata Panditya Anyera Nahaya Kabulaya Chitta Vitta. Otherwise, such knowledge is not possible in anyone other than the Supreme Lord. This is our firm conviction. This is the truth. Because the Lord attracted the heart of everyone by the opulence of his scholarship, they considered and concluded that the Lord's matchless proficiency in learning was divine. Nobody other than the Supreme Lord can have so much knowledge. Nobody other than the Supreme Lord can have so much beauty, because the Supreme Lord is the abode of all the six opulences, right? So he's the only one who can have everything in full. Ebe eka nivedana kariya tomare vidyadana kara kichu amasabakare. Now we have only one request from you, of you. Please give us some knowledge. So they were all very, very fortunate to have Nimai Pandit. They begged Nimai Pandit, please be our teacher, stay here for some time and give us some knowledge. Give us some courses. We want to register in your college, so give us some courses. उद्देश्य हमारा सबे तुम्हारा टिप्पणी लाई पढ़ी पढ़ाई सुनहा द्विजमणि. Oh, best of the Brahmanas, please hear us. We study, teach, and accept only your tippanis, your explanation. Now, it is interesting that we may all not know, but very sweetly, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has revealed this to us, that Nimai Pandit had written a commentary on Kalapa grammar. The Lord had written a commentary on a grammar text by the name of Kalapa. So there is a book, a grammar book, and it is of great surprise that Nimai Pandit did write a commentary, and these commentaries were studied by people. They were studied by people in Navadvip and in many other regions. So the Bangladeshis also knew about this. They knew about this and they would acquire copies of his commentaries and they would study grammar with his commentary. And they were thinking that now, we used to take so much effort to find the books on the commentaries of your grammar. We would try so hard to find copies of those commentaries. But now we are so happy that you yourself, you have come here. And because you yourself has come here, we can directly take education from you. We don't have to run around to find the best of the commentaries written by you. Sometimes even we think, right, we want some Acharya's commentary and we are like searching like crazy. And then we see that only Rat Bihari Lal has it. And then we have to ship it all the way from India. So these people were also in such a fix. They were thinking it would be so hard to find your commentaries and we would be yearning, when will I get a copy of your commentary? But then now we are so happy you've come in person. You yourself can teach all these concepts from Sanskrit grammar and educators. साक्षाते ओ शिष्याकार अमर तबकरे ताकु तक तुम्हारा कृति सकल samsare. Now please accept us as your students and let the entire world sing your glories. So beautiful. Hasi Prabhu Sabha Prati Kariya Ashvasa Katadina Banga Deshe Karila Vilasa. The Lord smiled and agreed to their request, and thus he enjoyed the pastimes in East Bengal for some days. The last verse for today. Sei bhagye adyapiha sarva bhanga deshe Sri Chaitanya Sankirtana kare Sri Purushe. Due to this good fortune, all the men and women of East Bengal engage in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement even today. I repeat, due to this good fortune, the men and women of East Bengal engage in Lord Sri Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement even today. Okay, and we are going to analyze that. At the time of the writing of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, the author already knew very well that even many years after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disappearance, the Sankirtan movement inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya would continue. Without discrimination, both men and women joined in that movement. And let's see how, even to this day, we do see this Sankirtan movement that is so nicely spreading. And especially, I would like to bring your attention to this land of East Bengal or Bangladesh. So you all know His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has got very, 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 very good preaching strategies, and he has covered a major part of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh has now so many people have become devotees thanks to all the efforts that he has taken, and including Bhaktichara Swami Maharaj. He also did heavy preaching in Bangladesh. And I'm sure there are other sannyasis and other Prabhujis and Matajis and so many other people who do a lot of preaching. So I just wanted to speak a little bit about Bangladesh preaching. So this was during Prabhupada's time. He wrote a letter to Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. I thought this is very nice. So it's nice to read this and meditate on the efforts that were taken. My dear Jayapataka Maharaj, please accept my humble my blessings. I beg to thank you for the letter dated 1st January 1971. I'm very encouraged by your enthusiasm for preaching. Your proposal to go for Pakistan, preaching to Pakistan, Bangladesh, Ceylon, and China is very good. So immediately arrange for your Canadian citizenship if it will give you more facility to preach widely. You are a sannyasi, so preach in this way and become a Parivrajaka. It may be that very soon I will ask you and Tamal to go to Bangladesh for preaching. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was also involved. They must be preached that this thinking, I am Hindu or I am Mohammedan, is not any solution. We want unification of Hindu and Muslim. You all know, right? Bangladesh, there are a lot of Muslims. Unification of all faiths and people, and the method is being done by Krishna consciousness movement. The intelligentsia and leaders of Bangladesh must be preached to and informed of the activities of our society. Kirtan will soften their hearts. So this proposal of yours for preaching is very, very good. Please take quotation for the printing of a Bengali book, page 5 by 3.5 inches, with very nice paper, soft bound, about 100 pages long. When I receive the quotation, I will send you a Bengali poem that I have written on Bhagavad Gita called Gitar Ghan. all the pamphlets and small books which you mention you would like to print, you may go ahead to do so. Try to collect 10% of the funds needed for printing, and I will pay up 50% of the printing costs. So print these books immediately. Send me quotations and descriptions of what you want to print. I'm prepared to pay up to 50% of the book fund. Okay. So he also asks about Mayapur functions, whether everything is going well. And he asks Jagtak Swami Maharaj to make sure that all the programs are well arranged. So this is something that was very close to Prabhupada's heart, preaching in Bangladesh and converting the people. I mean, like giving, not really converting, but the point is giving them this beautiful knowledge of Krishna consciousness. What is really needed, to give that. And there are so many stories about success stories in Bangladesh. And I even read recently in 2020, Maharaj initiated more than 980 people in a single initiation program. 980 plus people from Bangladesh, they're taking up to Krishna consciousness so nicely. Now this land, it has already been predicted in Caitanya Bhagavat that this land would be completely, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, he bathed in the waters, he lived there, and he preached there for some time. He gave his association to the devotees for a while. So obviously this entire, yes, Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj. Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for giving that. Yeah, Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj is doing such amazing preaching there. And this entire land of Bangladesh, actually, even to this day, is benefited from the Sankirtan movement that was inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll stop here. And I'm already 7 minutes over time. So if there are any questions, comments, or realizations, you can go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga. Mataji, very beautiful class and so sweet. Whatever you just narrated, all verses was so sweet. And I saw that all the pure soul, they always go and travel everywhere for giving their mercy to us. And we have to see about that. We have to seek that mercy, and we just get, because they just come to us. We don't go. Just like Jai Pataka Swami, our Srila Prabhupada, he just came from east to west to east, right? East to west, yeah.
Yes.
So same like a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave so many mercy to so many people, crore people like that. And Radhanath Swami we see, and Bhakti Charu Swami, even though it was Corona, still he came over here to give his mercy to every people, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. So I really like that thing. And we are so fortunate that we are in the umbrella, under the umbrella of the Srila Prabhupada, and we got the mercy of all these sages.
Yes, Mataji. I actually wanted to add this in the flow of the class. I forgot to add. But now that you said, yes, this was something that I was thinking of in the morning. How Srila Prabhupada, he came to the West, right? There were so many devotees, the 1970s, wanted to go to India in search of a God, because they wanted to know more about the Eastern culture, and they were very inspired. They all wanted to travel. Many of our Guru Vargas, what they did, they went from east to west. But then Prabhupada, he came to the West voluntarily, and some of them, though they desired to go to India, they just met Prabhupada by chance. And Prabhupada said, why do you have to go to India? I have come here. I have everything.
Yes, Mataji. So we are so fortunate. If Prabhupada na hoy to what we were.
What we were,
Yeah.
yeah. And even the people who left the land, like us, who left our Bharata Bhumi, and we came here to the West, money and fortune, even for us, Prabhupada came chasing.
Right, right, Mataji. So we are so fortunate.
How these acharyas are, they're so selfless, and this is their only motive.
Okay, yeah. They just want to sanctify this land too, right? Prabhupada came to sanctify this land and these people whoever they are not, the for what you say, layak. They were not
Yes.
for get this mercy, but still they got all this mercy and they liberated. And we see like that. Thank you, Mataji. Very, very nice class. If anybody have any questions, sorry about that. I just
No, thank you for that, because I wanted to tell this and I just slipped out, and thanks for bringing it out, because yeah, I did want to speak a few about that too. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Mataji, as usual. Beautiful class. Beg forgiveness that I'm not able to attend all the classes. But
Mistakes related to Bengal, please forgive me.
no, Mataji. I only think I was just thinking, like, because I am my daddy is from Bangladesh, and so I have family there in Bangladesh, and also, but we were in Assam because of the partition thing, Mataji. So the family. So some of the families were moved. So East Bengal, so Bangladesh is divided. East Bengal, India, East Bengal is, just give me a moment, Mataji. We don't have a tissue paper here. Sorry, Mataji. I'm in the DT kitchen, Mataji. So East Bengal, we still have, like Bangladesh got divided. East Bengal, like I'm born in Assam. Assam is a part of East Bengal, but it's a part of India again. And if you see Padma River, right, as you spoke, Padma River is again, when it entered to India, it is known as Brahmaputra, which is there in Assam. Brahmaputra it's in Assam. So we were living right by Brahmaputra. Actually, my childhood, I was right next to Brahmaputra. So whenever there will be flood, we had to empty the place and things like that. So it was very flood prone, but that's not the topic. The thing is, like, East Bengal is also a part of India, like a little bit, like only Assam so far I know, and the areas around are East Bengal, but it's still India, Mataji. Like we have Indian citizenship because I'm born in East Bengal. Right, so right. And the river Padma is Brahmaputra, which is Indian river again. So it's the same river, just by coming into of course, these are all the partition, after partition thing. Mahaprabhu's time, it was different, and after partition, it is all different. So yes, Mata, just wanted to add that, but yeah, such beautiful thing.
So thank you.
I mean,
Assam actually, it's also considered East Bengal. Thank you for that.
East Bengal, yes, Mataji. And thank you, Mataji, for bringing it up. I was just thinking so many things. And like how, last part, what Mataji said, and then you just brought it up, that Prabhupada came for all of us, and those who are searching, even those who are not searching, like people like me. But thank you. Just wanted to be grateful, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for bringing your valuable inputs. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Mataji. And thank you for coming on the call after such a long time. We were missing your association.
Yes.
And one thing, first of all, the Padma River is the same, right? Where Narottam Das Thakur bathed and he got Krishna Prem, right? Where Mahaprabhu bathed and he ordered Padma River, that Narottam will come in future, and as soon as he'll take a dip, just give him the Krishna Prem. That's the same. And secondly, Mataji, regarding the trip you said to East Bengal, the internal reason and the external reason. So I'm confused. I don't know, maybe you can correct me. It's the same time when Mahaprabhu met Rupa Goswami in Ramakeli?
No.
No, right? It's after Lakshmi Priya, when again he went.
Yeah,
right?
This is much earlier, right? Lakshmi Priya.
Yeah. I was not sure, so I want to check. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, beta.
I want to say, Mataji, I really like the Tota Gopinath story, and in our class, we did that Tota Gopinath story.
So nice. Thank you, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji. Thank you so much for showing up the map. because Vrinda don't know exactly what's India, what's Bangladesh.
Yeah, because I'm going, Mataji, I'm going to Mayapur.
So she was enjoying that map. I was
And
telling her it's
Calcutta.
very close. Calcutta is very close and all that. And she's like, oh, Bangladesh, then why don't we go? Like, then I said, we can't go there. Yeah, we need visa. So then I was telling her, thank you. What, Mataji?
You can go to Assam.
Yes, yes, Mataji. So I was very nice to see the map and to explain to the kids or anybody who don't know exactly how does it, the map of India and everything. Thank you, Mataji. All the pastimes are so beautiful. I really like the point of how all the Guru Vargas are so merciful. We are sitting at home, our home door and we are not moving anywhere, but they are coming to us and giving us the mercy. And it's very, very nice, Mataji. It's so heart touching. From Srila Prabhupada, all his disciples are just following Srila Prabhupada and doing what Srila Prabhupada has did for all of us, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very beautiful class, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aji Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Shri Prabhupada Se Gurudev Ki Jai. When you and Aji Kirtidas Sundari Mataji, Aji Lalitangi Mataji take class, Mataji, you totally involved in that Leela, Mataji. And you take us in Dham, Mataji. And Mataji, our H.S. Loknath Maharaj, when he is like 18 or 19 years old, he start preach Srila Prabhupada movement वो बुलेट कार्ट में जो बड़द गाड़ा होता है उसमें उन्होंने जस्ट इग्नोर बंद करने इतनी उसमें उन्होंने स्टार्ट की थी and they went village to village and preach. And I know that when Radhanath Maharaj told Jiva Prabhuji that he's a sannyasi, that go and preach in a Belgaum. So he's so much attached to Sisi Radha Gopinath, but somehow he went to Belgaum and there is a big temple and so many Vaishnava are there. And H.H. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is, when they came in Atlanta, he's not asking money, Mataji, but he said that whatever clothes in your your kids are not wearing, or even wearing clothes, clean it nicely and send it to the center. So there is a sports high school, so that the kids will wear and give so many pictures also. So we are not, we are in a comfort zone, Mataji, but our all Maharaj, H.H. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, H.H. Loknath Maharaj, H.H. Jai Pataka Maharaj are working hard to serve Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev. H.H. Tambal Krishna Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada is given only 45,000 rupees and go Tambal Krishna and buy a land in a Shridham Mayapur Dham. 2 term Srila Prabhupada is not able to buy the land, and finally Tambal Krishna Maharaj, he's American and he don't know anything about, but somehow the mercy of Shri Radha Madhav, he buy a land in Shridham Mayapur Dham, and so many projects Srila Prabhupada given to Tambal Krishna Maharaj, he's the left hand. And that two Matajis, 2 Prabhujis and 3.5 Matajis are started temple in Shishi Radha Landaneshwari without any help. And when they start Shishi Radha Rashbihari, that Mataji, I forgot the name, he is sitting outside and that we are celebrating Janmashtami and we need donation, and that is the passing that time that a big industrial is passing from there, and he give a whole Janmashtami festival expense. So this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada and all the Maharaj is given a blood to all of us. Hari Hari Mataji, Hari Hari Gauranga, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam to your sincere Seva. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gopinath ki jai. बहुत ही inspiring class था Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, for sharing these beautiful, beautiful stories and realization. Thank you. It's indeed very inspiring.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for such a wonderful class, Mataji. And you showed us exactly where Mahaprabhu went to and how far it was from Navadvip, and the glories of both Padma River as well as the Ganges Mother Ganga. So thank you so much. Yeah, and a very beautiful session, Mataji. Loved how you were always comparing it with how Lord Krishna himself, when he was moving from Dwaraka to from Hastinapur to Dwaraka, and how the people in Mathura saw him. It was wonderful how you compared. But why was it, Mataji, that all the ladies when in East Bengal, when they saw Mahaprabhu, uh, they had more motherly affection? Is that what you were trying to say, Mataji? Or
No. Some few people had motherly affection, the older ladies. They
right?
were praying Mother Shachi, thinking how fortunate is she, and they wanted to they were inspired by her. Similarly, the ladies, the younger ladies, they were more worshipping meaning they were not trying to enjoy Gauranga in a Madhurya Rasa or something. That is not
More in
what.
awe and reverence.
Yeah, like that. How fortunate is Mother Lakshmi? Because then we don't, Gauranga's mood is not that, right? So,
Right, Mataji. Yes.
yeah.
A beautiful class, Mataji. Looking forward to tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
I have to prepare. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is anybody have any question or realization? Please go ahead.
Hi Krishna Mataji, Dharmat Pranam.
Either way, Mataji.
Beautiful Mataji, like the part where you were explaining how the Ganges and Yamuna, how they were like, how Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he purified the Padmavati, and like, that part where it felt like though it was talking about the rivers, it felt like is it also true with the devotees, like how Gaurang Mahaprabhu has just extrapolating that thought towards devotees,
Very
as we
true.
say that whoever is more uh, fallen, like the love of Gauranga flows more towards him. So in that sense I was just perceiving it in that. I don't know
No,
when we'll be fortunate to visit those heavenly places. Heavenly, you have to call them, right? Like where
correct.
Lord's feet have been touched. And it's really like Bangladesh and the Yamuna River, where it's really like very nice to even think about it. Like the Lord's feet and Bharatvarsh, when you were saying, like how Bharatvarsh is really fortunate that the Lord appeared over here. There's so many things to be not proud, but at least to be more happy about.
Grateful.
And if we can, yeah, and if we can in this lifetime at least visit those places once, it will be, because whenever see like like when you go in Pune, because of the of Shivaji Maharaj, like the forts, when you go, you like people are thrilled to go over there, like when you go there you feel that yes, Shivaji Maharaj has passed from this place. That gives another, that Veera rasa is there over there. Like that I feel that when you visit over there, I don't know what will be the mood when one goes to that places. I don't know how people come back from there. But thank you, Mataji. The way you were explaining it, I was like looking at you, that with both your hands, you were like, how you were totally immersed in that mood. So thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. And it's really a pleasure to hear you. And Indu Mataji said, waiting for tomorrow. What's tomorrow, Mataji?
Leela Amrita class.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank
Mataji,
you, Mataji.
Preethi Vilasini Mataji using 100% her holidays in Krishna.
She is she is the best. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
sir.
for your valuable time.
Thank you so much.
Hari Bol.
I was also thinking how blessed Anuradha Mataji is. She said she was living right by the Padma River, like at least on the east.
No, sorry, Brahmaputra.
Brahmaputra, but that is the Padmavati, that river itself, right? In the Indian side. So, wow. Automatically the devotion would come in. It's so, yeah, you're very fortunate. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and a lot of people from Delhi also. Already the Yamuna River is there, and Right? Ganji. Yamuna.
We have Kirti Mataji right from there.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for your sweet and nectarian class. And it is a I got a very, enjoyed the pastime of Mahaprabhu. Whatever he did, he gave the mercy to all the people of that land. So it's very nectarian class and so inspiring class too. And we are so grateful to you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We look forward to your association again in future, Mataji. And such a sweet class. I really enjoyed this class, Mataji. And whatever the Mataji say, Vrinda Gopika Mataji say, you just take us in that dham and in that, memories of Krishna. Little Krishna, how he was looking like that. So I really enjoyed. If nobody have any question, we can end the call. Is Mataji, if your permission is there?
Yes, Mataji.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Caitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Devidasi Mataji ki jai.
All glories to all the devotees on the call.
Yeah, eagerly waiting for tomorrow, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam.
Hari Bol, Dandavad Pranam.